Okay, hi everybody, I'm back, and basically for this one we're gonna dive deep into the Shadow-CLJS. Some disclaimers here. You've probably seen that my editor changed a little bit. That's how I am using the pulsar. That's my main configuration. The last video I basically made a clean slate pulsar so we could see how to install things, but I am more familiar with this and I don't want you to see me staring at the screen trying to figure out the keystrokes that I already have configured here. So yeah, for now let's just join these elements here and here because I prefer this like on this alignment. And the first thing that you have to know about the Shadow-CLJS is that we have the source paths. Here is where all the source code will live. In this case I will use source and test for the test libraries and the test code, and source for the actual source code. Dependencies are basically ClojureScript dependencies, so we have both ClojureScript and JavaScript dependencies on the Shadow-CLJS project. More on this later. And builds is exactly what do we want to build. So the first thing that I am going to do is I am going to create a simple hello world program. So I am going to create a new file on the source hello world core CLJS. Please take notice of the underscore here. This is a limitation for the compiler that it cannot understand names with dashes, or it can, but it can get into trouble. So basically the name of the namespace is hello/world.core. NS in ClojureScript defines a namespace. It's a combination of code and functions that reside in the same space, let's say something like this. It's similar to the packages for the Java language. And as you can see, I use dash here, but the file name actually uses underscore. Again, that's a limitation, we have to live with that. And the most basic thing that we can do to create a function in ClojureScript is to define with this keyword, defn. So defn means define function. And I am going to call this function main for some reason, and just print line with a new line in the end, hello world. Okay, so far so good. I want to create a Node.JS script here, not a library. So I am going to create a build that I am going to call node. This here is just an identification, so it will have some elements, and the target of this element is a node script, and I have to say what will be the output file. So the output will be, let's say, target index.js, or maybe even better, out for the output index JavaScript. I don't remember if it's output or output 2, but here's the magic of things. I am going to try to compile this code here, and Shadow-CLJS have two modes of compilation. One is the release that will build a final product for you, and the other is watch. And here I want to watch something, and I want to watch the node. This node here is the same that this node here. It's the same name basically. This will basically download the dependencies and other stuff, and it will probably fail because I did not configure yet the entry point and the other things. But I am going to say, I want to see what Shadow-CLJS say to me. And one thing that it said that is it's expecting output to, and it expects it to be a non-empty string. So let's change the output to output 2. And it also is expecting a main. It's basically a symbol. So main is the entry point of my application. The entry point is here, it's in the hello world core and the function main. So for me to represent this, I have to put the namespace slash the name of the function. And I am going to save this and see if the compiler captures this change. And it seems that it's doing. And now I have something built. So let me change here a little bit the configurations for us to be able to see what happened. So I am going to run the out index JavaScript, and as you can see, it printed hello world and it didn't exit. Oh, I just saw that on my recording I am not showing everything. So here. So it printed hello world and it did nothing more. And there's a reason for that actually. The way that ClojureScript works is that you don't exit your application as soon as it ended. You can like keep doing things in the ClojureScript world. Again, we're going to see more about this later, but just to have a preview on that, I'm going to enter this ClojureScript namespace and I am going to run the connect socket repo. It's the main entry point for the chlorine that we installed in the last video. And as you can see, it already detected a port. This port is correct. And now I have a Clojure socket repo connected. This is weird because we want ClojureScript, but the ClojureScript compiler, it's written in Clojure. So every time you connect to something, you connect to a Clojure target. So now I want to run this connect embedded. It's the ClojureScript that's embedded inside the compiler. Maybe this name could be better. But as you can see, it now says that I am connected to the Shadow-CLJS target called Node. And that's exactly what we want. So by now we can run things like evaluate block, which will evaluate the whole block. In this case, it evaluated what is a block. It's basically when a parenthesis start until it ends. So if I am pointing my cursor here, the block is the whole println, and that's why you have hello world here. So evaluate block will print hello world. If I am here, then my block is the whole def end. And if I run this code, evaluate block, you can see that the result is different. And finally, you can use the evaluate top block. Top block is always the top block, literally. So if I run top block here, top block, it will evaluate the whole top block. So that's one of the key points of ClojureScript and one of the key points of using ClojureScript. You are always running code in the environment that you are programming. So for the next video, I am going to explain all this configuration and all this syntax that we are learning.